For this video, I'm going to take you for a full tour of the Ocean World Adventure Park located in the Dominican Republic. If you've grown up in the United States like I have, you've probably been to a marine park by now, whether it's Gulf World, Marineland, SeaWorld, or something like the Miami Seaquarium. There are quite a few of them in the United States. It's kind of an old concept over there. A lot of these parks date back to the 1950s and 60s, and if you visit them today, you'll find that a lot of them, for example the Miami Seaquarium, are really run down and just poorly maintained. I know in my case, I grew up in South Florida, and the Miami Seaquarium was just kind of like a rite of passage. I went to it a couple times as a kid, but now when you go back, it's so forlorn, and half the attractions are basically boarded up, and it's just a mess. The Seaquarium is kind of circling drain right now, and the city of Miami is trying to evict them from their lease, so I don't think that particular attraction is long for this world. So it was kind of refreshing to go to this Ocean World attraction because this is new and thriving, and they didn't start building this until like the mid 1990s, and everything is just clean and modern and just meticulously maintained. I was really impressed with it. And what's funny about this place is there's almost no information about it on the internet. I mean, they have a website, but it looks like something that was made in the 1990s and hasn't been updated because there's almost no pictures. This attraction seems to be doing pretty well without any real marketing. Although, I will say this, they do have a bunch of billboards when you drive through town. So when I was getting off the cruise ship and riding the tour bus to Ocean World, almost every sign going to the park said number one attraction in Dominican Republic and number one cruise excursion in the Dominican Republic. So they're using, I guess, conventional marketing instead of like internet marketing, and it's, like I said, it seems to be working. So to reiterate, I did choose this as my cruise excursion when I was visiting Puerto Plata Dominican Republic, and I'm very happy I did. One of the things that I do pay attention to is there was a travel alert issued for the Dominican Republic while I was here. That kind of makes you a little nervous, and I had some family members who refused to get off the boat in that particular port because they were worried. I knew Ocean World was fairly reputable from a lot of the information that I could find on the internet. So right now, if you're considering a cruise excursion for like a Carnival ship or a Celebrity or Royal Caribbean, and you're kind of on the fence, I can at least say that Ocean World is a very safe bet. Probably the safest one you're going to find if you're looking to do something in the Dominican Republic. And for Ocean World's excursions, there are two options. They have the standard day pass, which is all I did. That runs about $60-$70 for the day. And then there's like a day pass that includes a dolphin experience where you actually get to swim with dolphins. And that runs around $115-$120 for the day. Those are some really low prices compared to what I'm used to as a Disney vlogger. The idea that you could go swim with dolphins for less than a daily admission price to like Epcot or Animal Kingdom, well, that's pretty wild to me. So the Ocean World Park is about 50 or 60 acres, so it's not overly large. You can definitely walk around and explore the entire thing in, for example, a 6-hour cruise excursion. And the term Ocean World is very appropriate to this park because it is literally located right on the ocean, and the scenery that you experience when you're kind of exploring the park is pretty breathtaking. Another smart thing that they did here at Ocean World is it's kind of a mixture of a water park and a marine park. They have a pretty nice looking water slide tower, although it doesn't operate on weekdays. So if you want to experience that part of the park, you definitely have to come here on a Saturday or a Sunday. They also have a pool, so you can actually put on a life vest and a snorkel and go swim with tropical fish. I've never really seen that done in any of the other marine parks, so it was kind of nice. They will let you pretty much get in the water here with every animal, whether it's the sea lions, the dolphins, heck, even the sharks. So they're pretty crazy down here. I know some of these things would never fly in the United States because I guess safety protocols. For the shark experience, they actually brought some of the tourists and had them sit in the water and feed sharks. And the first thing they said was, no, 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 no put fingers in the water. So apparently the nurse sharks will kind of chew on your fingers for lunch. So you definitely don't want to do that. But those nurse sharks were no joke. They would throw the little fish in front of those sharks, and the amount of force that they used to clamp down on those fish, I mean, it sounded like an alligator jaw. It was like boom, boom. It was crazy, and it was so fast. This is definitely the first theme park I've been to where you're allowed to sit in the water with an apex predator. They would invite like children to, sit on a dock, and they'd have like two dolphins kind of come out of the water and lie beside like people. There was another thing where they would have sea lions posing for photos with kids, and it's pretty wild. And it reminds me of the old days of water parks before a lot of those safety standards were implemented in the United States, and they've kind of taken a lot of fun out of the old style marine parks in the U.S. They have a really nice artificial beach that they've created with a bunch of lounge chairs and umbrellas. And if you are just kind of tired and of like walking around the park, you can just basically lounge underneath an umbrella and listen to the ocean waves. So there's a lot of things to do here. They've got a couple restaurants. There's a bar. Speaking of the restaurant, they have like a buffet that's, I think it was like $15, and it was like all the traditional like Dominican Republic meals. They had like chicken and rice and beans and stuff. And for a $15 buffet, the food definitely smelled amazing. I didn't personally do it. I just wanted a snack. I didn't want to eat that heavy that particular day. All the animal shows were really great. I especially liked the dolphin show and the shark encounter, as well as the sea lion show. The bird show was the one that I thought was, it was okay, but I don't think it was as compelling as the other ones. They have a really great aviary here in the rainforest section of the park. You can feed a bunch of lovebirds. They'll give you like the seed, and it's not an upcharge. Like a lot of the parks in the United States will charge you for like the seeds to feed the birds, but here they just kind of hand them out. It's included in the daily admission price. So it's kind of nice that this park doesn't really have a lot of those nickel and dime add-ons like a lot of the parks in the States do. The Las Olas section of the park was kind of dedicated to just the scenery, where you could just kind of walk across like a platform. I think they do open air events up there too. There was the Pirates Cove section of the park, which is more swimming areas, and it's like an old-fashioned swimming hole for kids. They've got a lot of animal enclosures. They have these absolutely giant iguanas in an enclosure, as well as some really beautiful flamingos. Another thing I'll point out is they have parrots and macaws kind of sitting on tree limbs inside the aviary, and I've never really seen this done before, because in the United States they always have them like caged behind bars, because those animals will kind of wreck your fingers if they kind of bite them. They can also make mincemeat out of you if they use their claws. But here in the Dominican Republic, they're obviously not a very litigious society, not like the United States where people get sued for making their coffee too warm. So what's the bottom line for the Ocean World Adventure Park? I really love this place. You would think I'd be cynical after all these years of traveling to theme parks, but this was definitely a breath of fresh air, because they do things a little differently down here in the Dominican Republic. It's an absolutely beautiful theme park. There's plenty of different activities to do. You definitely want to bring your bathing suit, because that basically doubles the appeal of the park. The prices on pretty much everything from admission to food are very reasonable, mostly because the exchange rate makes things pretty inexpensive for American dollars. Because this park isn't very old, and they only started building it in the mid-90s, it's much nicer and newer than a lot of the marine parks that are currently operating in the United States. So if I was given the choice between going to like a smaller park like Gulf World or Miami Seaquarium or this place, I would definitely choose Ocean World every time. And that pretty much sums it up. I would highly recommend Ocean World if you're looking for something to do in the Dominican Republic. Well, that pretty much finishes up all my thoughts on Ocean World. For the rest of this video, I'm just going to play a little music to wrap up the tour. Thanks for joining me on this tour of the Ocean World Adventure Park. If you enjoyed this vlog of the Adventure Schmuck, don't forget to like and subscribe.